But yeah, she would definitely have one with everybody if she pulled that one off. Shout out to the NBA and the NFL for trying to pull off I mean, Christmas Day games. Realistically, I think we talked about it last week, and I guess last week we was kind of wrong because we didn't know that it was other games outside of the 49ers and the Ravens game. And of course, realistically, the big game is still the Ravens and the 49ers for Christmas Day for the NFL. And I think they did it. I don't, and necessarily because nobody's in those rooms, so you don't know if they politic with each other to try to get their schedules right, like how they actually play out their sports schedules, because you kind of really never know. But it's just like, it seemed like if you looking at it, like just the way the breakdown was, it was like, all right, cool. The first game, because normally with the NBA, the first game, most of the time it normally is the Knicks. The Knicks normally every Christmas Day normally have the very first game, that 12 o'clock game, get it out of the way, get it early. So the NFL had the Kansas City versus the Raiders. So just real quick, the Bucks did lose. So for people, I'm sure, I don't necessarily know how many people picked the Knicks to beat the Bucks, because realistically, less than 48 hours ago, the Bucks just smoked the Knicks. So I'm sure a lot of people going into it. So if you did have the Knicks in your parlays or your picks, I'm sure you want some bread today, because I'm 100% positive. I didn't look at it early this morning because I kind of like, let me give FanDuel a break a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Those last couple of L's just broke my heart, but I had to go back tonight. Of course, it just wouldn't be right. Like that 49, that Ravens disrespect with the Niners is just like, I believe in the Ravens, so it is what it is. So I had to get back on it just to go ahead and put a little bit of bread on my squad. But yeah, real quick, because Kansas City, they didn't literally. I don't know what's up with Kansas City, but they looking crazy. They lost to the Raiders. Me and you was talking before we cut the mics on, because the Raiders do have right now an interim. It's a black head coach, and you said you wouldn't take the job because that's how the last coach basically just got fired. But that team just seemed like they happy to play for him, and you can see the huge turnaround. Like, it's a real turnaround.
I feel like the same shit last year when they got rid of Gruden. They Carr started playing good,
but I'm saying, but this one, my point with this one is they doing it without Carr. I mean, they doing it without Carr, and they doing it without Jimmy G. So it's like, if you can still turn it around and then you start fresh, even, of course, I mean, realistically, you're not going to make the playoffs, so you're still probably going to have a half decent draft pick. So if you can kind of figure out, all right, well, maybe if we can try to draft for a different quarterback, or even if the Chicago Bears want to keep playing, I think it's a lot of teams, honestly.
But it's just like, my thing is it attractive? Like, is it, I guess because you're in Vegas, it's a new stadium and all that. But it's just like, damn, do I really want to go through the bullshit? Like the Commanders, even the Bears, like a lot of these head coaching jobs are going to be up for grabs. But is it really worth that headache?
It depends.
I mean, yes, you looking at it. I mean, because yes, you do got Devontae Adams,
of course, and for even for this coach, though, I think this will be his first head coaching job, though. Like, yeah. So I mean, I don't think he got kind of nothing to lose. You kind of can get a chance to actually make a name for yourself, because I'm sure realistically,
but then you also can hurt yourself too, because you get out there and then, oh, you couldn't even do nothing. So why you think I'm gonna hire you for another gig? You know,
but you got to chance it. Why not get a payday now while it's in front of you? If they offer it to you and it's there, why not take it now? Because it's not necessarily, you can see him turn it down. Ain't necessarily you're gonna get another shot. So it's like, either way, realistically, it's not guaranteed you're gonna get another shot regardless, win, lose, or draw. So it's like, why not take it while it's there? Because if you don't take it and then you don't get another opportunity anyway, like look at Eric the Enemy. Like, necessarily he may or may not get another opportunity even as a head coach. I mean, and realistically, it's two ways you can look at it, because I see people trying to use him as a scapegoat and throwing shots at him. Like, I seen people even on Twitter yesterday when the Redskins was losing to the Jets. I seen people trying to sit here and say, oh, well, look at him, he making Sam Howell look bad, and they benched Sam Howell and then brought in what's the black quarterback that damn near been a backup for everybody.
I'm not James. Jacoby just
Jacoby said. So he came in and he had literally 3 drives in a row, and he scored touchdowns on all 3 of those drives. So it's like, I don't necessarily, of course, you can't. To me, he's even getting a fair criticism, because it's like, dog, you can't sit here and judge me off of this one random quarterback. This not Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, of course. So you can't even not even that same skill of it. He not even in the tier. He might even be 2 tiers down of Patrick Mahomes, because it'll be different. Like, if you say, okay, he got Justin Fields, or if he got Kyle, somebody who's already kind of proven themselves, they are can be an elite quarterback. If you get a good coordinator or a good head coach, then we can kind of judge you a little bit different. But for the Commanders, it's just like, bro, it's not gonna happen. If I'm y'all, like, you better lay down, just take your L, try to draft you a better quarterback or something. I don't necessarily. To me, that's
you're gonna build a team.
Shout out to real quick before we get off of sports, because I mean we never start sports this early. But shout out to Justin Fields for just continuously making me laugh. Bro, if you would have not missed a couple of more of them games, I almost would have looked like a genius if the Bears would have got that 10 victories. Because literally though, he was one catch away from being on a 3-game winning streak right now.
What was that? That was their second win when they played the Redskins?
Of the season, early in the season?
Yeah.
That was their second win.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I mean, they could have, if he wouldn't have missed a couple of those games, but even, matter of fact, even a couple of those games that he won, I mean, they won, I think they won maybe one game when he was out, but just still, I looked at something I seen, I think it was on ESPN earlier, they put it and it was saying, this is his 4 games he done won so far this season, this is the most of his career, but if he went out this one, I mean, he went out these next 2, which are 2 winnable games, they play the Falcons, and then they play another team that's
kind of... You can't say the Falcons, because the Falcons didn't have it.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that some teams are just going there underestimating the Falcons. You're absolutely right. They have beat a few teams recently, but I don't think realistically the Bears not going in there underestimate nobody. One, because I think Justin Fields, he kind of like telling people like, y'all gonna owe me an apology. Don't worry about. Or I'm going to make this job for y'all to get rid of me very hard, because
I don't see them getting rid of him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, just imagine if you go on if we end the season off on a 4-game or what's that? Because they won, so they're in the game on a 3-game winning streak, and you told me they would have won 5 out of their last 6. How you gonna sit here? How you gonna trade him now? How can you sit here and tell your fans and the rest of the organization, we gonna get rid of him? He literally just won 5 out of the last 6 games. It would not make no sense. So just realistically, I do like him putting that pressure on them because they do. And then realistically, Caleb Williams haven't even sit here and said if he was going into the draft or not. But I just like how that whole conversation kind of have to trade. I did watch what's my one white man to be on ESPN, and he kind of be. You know what's so funny? I pay attention to how some of them be like, I'm gonna take the stance away from everybody else, and it'll look sweeter because I'm white. His name, Dan Orlowski, I believe that's his name. And he be on First Take and he be on Get Up, and he kind of just like, I'm gonna take a different call because everybody else was still like, I still will go for Caleb Williams, and he's like, yeah, I don't know about that. It was easy to say that beginning of the season, but right now I don't necessarily know. And then you see people in the comment section like, why y'all keep talking about somebody who couldn't even win at the college level his last season? Y'all keep acting like it's guaranteed that he's gonna draft him. Somebody gonna draft him the number 1 pick, and it's gonna be a change for their team. That's not guaranteed, because look at his last college season. But again, I do want, since it is the holidays, I do want to play this clip because I mean, as a parent, I do kind of want to get your opinion on this one.
What if one of your friends told your kids Santa wasn't real?
That's violation. That's not your job.
Is that like grounds to cut off a friendship?
100%. Because imagine how heartbroken my child is gonna believe in Santa wholeheartedly. Like, I'm gonna go crazy with making up shit, leaving fake footprints on the floor. So
elves on the shelf.
Yeah. Oh, definitely elves on the shelf. You see my black elf on the shelf right there. I play with adults.
Can we put the elf over here?
Yeah, like the Santa Claus is a part of children's. Yeah, he had a little too much coke. Eggnog.
It's cool.
I think that Santa Claus is a part of children's innocence in a way. So kind of ruin that and taking their imagination and creativity and their believing that there's somebody out there spreading joy and hope and all that. Don't take that away from them. They got enough out there to do it.
So what do you think about like when parents do be like, oh, my kid, I'm not giving Santa Claus credit for my kid's gift?
I respect that too.
I feel like that shit is petty. That shit is petty because there are times where you lie to your kids. We not gonna act like, what if one of
so I do want your opinion on that. Just, I mean, as a parent, and I still give my opinion because I do think that little hole when even when I hear rich people say that, like when I listen to Charlemagne and he say that, I'm like, bro, that just sound like some poor people shit. Like, you that pressed to sit here and take that away from your kids, like that just sound like broke behavior. Like, I don't want somebody else to take you got the whole rest of the year to sit here and show up for your kids. And if you think that one day going to sit here and discriminate you as a parent because you giving the goddamn alley-oop to somebody else is crazy to me. But go ahead.
And then when you hear him say, well, why didn't I get this? How you explain that? Well, why I didn't get a PlayStation? If Santa, you know what I'm saying? Like that's one that I mean, like I said, hey, you keep believing in Santa as much as you want to, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's still escape. You take pressure off yourself. So let's say it's some toy that you probably couldn't. Oh, well, Santa, you was on the naughty list, or you wasn't. You still can use that as an excuse. But you telling me, I ain't giving credit to no white man for like, dog.
Even just that, even when people just sit here, when he was just saying like or what she said, you kind of robbing your kids of the innocent, and I totally agree with that. I do feel like, dog, I'm one of them people. I don't know if I said this on here before, but I think I literally believed in Santa Claus until I was probably like into the 7th grade, and probably most people right now that probably sounds crazy to people, but dog, even as a kid,
I just think what you around too. Because I mean,
and I didn't learn that until I was working in a barbershop at that time. So it was just like, okay, I was working in the barbershop for my older cousin, and on our way home, like I think that was probably, it may have been like, maybe if it wasn't Christmas Eve, it may have been like the day before Christmas Eve or something. And he was taking me home, dropping me off from after closing the barbershop, and he just told me, he's like, you can't tell your brothers or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, cool, but just still realistically, because by that time you talking about you in the 7th grade, I'm like, what, you either like 14 or something like that. So you kind of a little bit older, and you can kind of take it in a little bit, but still, just like what she was saying is robbing your kids of that innocent. And the reason why I wanted to bring that in and tie it into even just that huge fight right before Christmas break at Flowers High School. And a homegirl of mine, she sent the joint to me, and I asked her, I'm like, no, do you think this is the kids or it's bad parenting? And I want your honest opinion, because I think her son go to Wise. So I'm like, dog, because I realistically, of course, we all been to school, and you think about some of those, of course, back in the day when the last day of school during the summertime, but we about summer break about to come in, people do be having those little fights, but just watch it get that large and the people bringing guns into the school, and you kind of just be like, dog, the parents have to take a lot of blame in this, and I'm tired of just like people like, and I even paid attention to it. I'm watching how many people like reposting it or even talking about it. If their kids go there, or you did, even if your kid, if you don't even got kids and you went there, I want to see what people's response was it on, and I think a lot of parents and a lot of adults don't want to take blame for it. It's a lot of bad parenting. And I've been saying that. I feel like I've been saying that all year long.
But not necessarily just even bad parenting, because I think it's still off of some neighborhood shit too. So I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's just.
But what's the neighborhoods now? I didn't even know neighborhoods around there no more, for real.
It's still, I mean, you still have people like from the Glenard and stuff, like you still have those type of, you know what I'm saying? Like in this day and age, I feel like you do need to be more critical about what your kids post, who they communicate online. Like a lot of that stuff brew over from social media to you know what I'm saying,
of course,
schools. And I just feel like as a whole, like you can't, I like for you to just say it's just the parents' fault, it's the students' fault, it's everybody's fault at the end of the day. Because like I said, for that many people to be
that was crazy though. Like that was crazy.
Almost like 500 people.
And
but talking about 20 different fights. And it was people came up from another school. It wasn't like in school.
Oh yeah, so there was kids from Wise and all that, of course. And then I think it was Wise and Flowers. And of course, if you want to, I guess, tie that. And that's why I'm saying I don't try to sit here and make it like I'm above. I remember, of course, when going to Lago as a kid, and then it was Sula
and that was
versus
crazy
Lago.
Because I think they canceled the Lago and Flowers game, and I think that was their first time playing in a minute now, because they not the same, you know,
the same joint no more. Yeah, so I do, but like I said, I do think a lot of because I just, even when you come to the holidays, you kind of pay attention to how many parents you be in a rush to just like do your thirsty shit for social media, or still go out on like you just still want to be so young. And I just like, bro, y'all parents wasn't like that. So you cannot keep putting the buck off on like, oh, it's just the kids. No, look how dramatic difference is when it comes to parenting between. Just judge. All you got to do, if for people who listening, if you got a homegirl or male friends, whoever, just judge them the way you remember how you were raised. You remember when the closer it got to holidays, the way your parents behaved when they were in the house and how they was treating Christmas Eve. And then just pay attention to your friends. Like even the homegirl I'm talking about, I was having a conversation with, she was telling me like, oh, it's like her son like plays sports, and he got a group of friends who come over on the weekend, but she was just like, no, this one little boy been coming to her house for almost 2 months. She never talked to this little boy mother until literally, I think something might have happened. I guess she was like teaching him how to clean up or something. He came in the house and cleaned up a certain way, and his mother got mad because she don't clean that way in her house. So she called her and she like, dog, it's no way your son been over my house from Friday to Sunday for 2 months in a row, and this is my first time talking to you because you upset about the way he learned how to clean at my house. You ain't send me a cash app or nothing, or thank you card or nothing for taking care of your kid every weekend for a month, and we never had a conversation. So that's my point when I was telling her, I'm like, dog, just listen to the story you just told me. There's no way in hell you can sit here and tell me that it's not parenting, because dog, that was a perfect example of a horrible parent. Your kid been gone from every weekend from Friday to Sunday for 2 months, and you've never talked to even know where this kid is at. Even have a conversation where this kid is at every weekend with the person they stand on. She could have been doing anything out of her house. You don't. How would you know?
Yeah, right.
So that, I mean, that, like I said, that was crazy to me. Like I said, that's one thing. I'm a people's watcher. That's why I could never be on social media and try to be like on some bougie stuff. I ain't following people back. No, I'm going to follow everybody. I get on social media, I'm going to keep getting to follow, but because that's the thing, you get to actually, even if you're going to be in, especially if you're somebody going to be in a house and you don't like being around people, that's the only way you're going to get to understand or pay attention to other people's social behavior. If you just follow them on social media and pay attention to like how people talk, how people react. Like I said, you just see too many people geeking for the turn up, still geeking to be lit, geeking to have just their own. I want to have, mama still need to have her own life. And I'm sorry, women, that I always use them. I'm just going off. That's what I do still follow majority women over men, but you just see that a lot. That's my biggest thing that you see a lot. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I do think social media is a disgusting place, and I think a lot of y'all, especially even bro, y'all even playing with TD Jakes is ridiculous, dog. Like, I don't even know how y'all even allow that to be a story, or even try to make that a story, or even thought that was a key highlight. Bro, stop. I don't give a, it's not. You can't even, I don't even care how you want to drag it up. If you ain't had the audacity or the balls to stand on that Diddy situation, you should have just skipped over the TD. If you felt like you had to skip over Diddy, bro, it's no way in hell you felt like you should play with TD Jakes like that. That's insane. Though, and we talking about I'm talking about, and one of y'all have heard my complaints before about how a lot of pastors don't know how to master being a megastar pastor and still be able to be on social media and keep their social media pages clean. Though TD Jakes is the king of that. So for y'all to sit here in real live, try to sit here, I can't even believe y'all did. I was very I can't even say I'm disappointed in the blogs, because bro, y'all just gonna push whatever negative to the black community all day long. But I just couldn't believe that some of y'all actually was in the comment section like dragging it. People was mad, like, oh, I don't see why the Shade Room ain't picked this up. Why should they pick this up? You should have some type of, again, when we talking about, and that's why I said I can't put too much on the kids when it comes to some of these things, because dog, look at the people who are raising these people. You in the Shade Room this people on Twitter, and y'all sitting here saying why the Shade Room didn't pick y'all. We already had this. Was already a story a couple months ago. Yes, the woman who runs the Shade Room goes to his church every Sunday. She's paid her tithe. She's heavy into that church. She's heavy into that church circle. So yes, why the hell would she pick up a story like that? That don't make no sense. Like, dog, certain things are just ridiculous. Like, bro, y'all just be trying to, like, that to me was corny. I lost a lot of respect for the little bit of respect I have for any of those blogs. You pick up that TDJ story, I'm cool on y'all. Like, that shit ain't even nothing to even play with. Like, it's just certain things. Like, come on, dog. That's almost like the Santa Claus conversation. Like, certain things, just leave that alone. I'm cool on that one. That was disgusting. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, that really pissed me off. Like, I don't get, like, stories I don't care about, and I can just scroll. But that one, I was like, bro, y'all playing. Like, come on, dog. This is an old school pass, and you sitting here trying to tell me to stop, dog. All right. In other news, 21 Savage said, nobody don't make R&B songs singing to women no more, because all you hoes out here selling pussy. So I don't gotta beg. I don't need no song. All I just needed some money, and I'm gonna get what I want anyway. And for people who don't know, and people probably over the 21 Savage is a huge R&B fan. And I guess for people who don't know, during the pandemic, 21 Savage used to be on Clubhouse a lot, and he was heavy in the R&B conversations. Anytime people would bring up R&B, he had R&B lists. He was debating favorite R&B albums. So people found out that 21 Savage had a real love for R&B, and that's maybe even why, if y'all seen that video earlier in the year when he was at the Usher concert, and Usher went up to him and let him sing the whatever part of that song was. And he knew that 21 Savage knew it, because he know that is a thing. 21 Savage is a huge R&B person. So when he said it, of course, it started to go viral. And to be honest, it's true, dog. It's so, like,
but it's true, but then it's not true too. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we in a different era now. And even like before, like a nigga expressing his feelings, or even saying, you know what I'm saying, like, you would look at him as a simp, or you know what I'm saying, like you would, you soft, like that. That's kind of frowned upon. So now, like, everybody's starting to make the more toxic music. That's the go-to now. Me toxic, being toxic, or telling, you know what I'm saying, like that's the more appealing thing. And nowadays that's how people want to be talked to.
So I mean that you double down on what he's saying. Yeah, so you agree with what he's saying.
Yeah, so but I just feel like that's the era you in right now. Because I don't think, I can't see no R&B song where you have to be, because we don't have that kind of love.
No, but so that's what he said. So basically, you agreeing with what he said.
I'm agreeing with it. But because of the era, I'm not saying like you can't. Like they do have some songs where they are begging it or ask for, but
so my question of it is I think realistically, we talking about, even if anybody who listening, and you think about dating, of course, even using that word, like, let's breathe, what was one of the words of 2023, applying pressure. And most of the time when we talking about applying pressure, that had to do with money. Are you sitting here taking me on dates? Are you courting me? Are we going out? Are we sitting here thinking about booking trips? So realistically, that all is surrounded by money. So if I got bread, I kind of can be whatever. So what do I need? I don't need to be able to send you good morning texts. I don't need to sit here and check on you mentally or none of that stuff, because realistically, as long as I got some bread, I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. The play can kind of move absolutely how I want. So what realistically, like you said, where is the real love? So why should I be making real love songs if the people who are listening to the music, there ain't no love out there for them?
And I mean, to be honest with you, if you really even look at it, like you listen to a lot of these female songs, where they really asking, like when they bigging up a man, like just a regular, a regular man.
Yeah, I think those days. I
Nine
mean,
times-
realistically, those
nine times- but
days
even
are
back,
over.
I mean, if we go even back in the day, like all them older songs, they still talking about niggas being, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't spending no money, you a bugaboo, you know what I'm saying? Like all them songs, none of them really like praise the, oh, he's a good man. Women don't have, oh, he's a good man song.
They don't. And I'm sure women would give some pushback that it probably in their mind, be like, oh, it ain't no good man. And that's why everybody always use that joke. It's that saying, oh, Savannah, he a good man, Savannah. I don't even know where that came from because I don't watch them type of movies, but I guess it is what it is. But shout out to 21 Savage. I do totally agree with him. I don't think realistically it ain't no real space. And again, I know most men don't, like you said, don't want to be called simps, but I know a lot of y'all are really looking for that way to really kind of like, how can I find real love? Because I even seen when I started off the episode and I played the Sexy Red feature on Chief Keef. And Chief Keef, I'm not gonna lie, you probably was the biggest disappointment to me in 2023 because I was looking forward to getting that Chief Keef album. I'm not going to
still ain't come out.
No, he didn't push it. He pushed it back literally a whole year. Like it literally was supposed to come out the beginning of this year, and he pushed it out.
Yeah, I want to say Bella was there when you.
Yeah, he literally pushed it back the entire year. So I'm not going to lie, I'm disappointed in Chief Keef. But reason why I even knew that song, it was even a verse out. Top sent it to me. He was just so hype. I'm like, bro, you don't even have kids. What do you? Who's the baby mama that you saying F to? Did nobody taking you to child support? But that's my point of how mentally gone the whole entire population is, because dog, why are you can't relate to this? What are you hype about? You don't have no kids. You don't even know what child support court look like. So what the hell are you excited about? He was in the comment section. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This fire. Like, why is this fire to you, dog? You don't like, come on. But that's my point of how gone and backwards the whole entire society is. But again, man, like I said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, share, like, subscribe, whatever, all the cool stuff they tell y'all to do. Let that jump load up. Need to take a piss. All the YouTube people, y'all, this is when we take our little break, get to finish fleshing out these topics, getting bouncing around. Sounds sucking. Take a piss. So yeah, if you catching this on YouTube, if like I said, give me like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. You ready? I guess in other news, real quick, before we one shout out to Mariah Carey. She came back strong Christmas Eve, got her back in her spot. And I guess we could tie it into two things because, and I don't want to shade Spotify because we use Spotify to upload the podcast, but I do. They caught a little bit of shots in the midst of Meg Thee Stallion basically warming up the audience to let them know I'm coming for Nicki Head Top. She basically sit here and said, whoever been calling for me or coming for me, what I should say 2024, don't worry, I'm coming for you. You've been looking for me or you've been calling for me, I'll be there. Don't even worry about it. And then that's when she threw shots at Spotify because of course, Nicki Minaj had the big thing, oh, Spotify, these numbers, da. So and then Meg was basically like, dog, only kids use Spotify. Like that, she feel like y'all sitting here talking about a Spotify number. I feel like that's something for 15-year-olds. And when she said it, which realistically, I get what she's saying because it's a free app. Like realistically, if you don't pay for the membership or the premium or whatever the case may be, you got all the commercials running through listening to music. And I don't necessarily even know how the albums play out because I know every time I've tried to listen to like albums on there, it kind of like bounce around. So I don't necessarily know how it worked. But she basically was saying like it's a kid thing. So y'all keep talking about numbers on there, and what I felt what she was saying because realistically, Apple is very stingy with their numbers. Like you don't see people saying, oh, the number one streaming such and such on Apple Music or this, that, and the third because it's not a thing because they don't share their numbers. Or nothing on their podcast thing or none of their stuff. They don't share their numbers. So when she kind of threw that shot at, I was like, oh, all right, we get it. She on her way. She ready to dance. So ladies and gentlemen, 2024, of course, I mean, I done made bets with J-Bo and then won, with the Eagles winning their division 2 years in a row. But that Megan, I was still a year early with the whole Meg had to really, I mean, not Meg, but Nicki had to deal with the girls dissing her. So that will kind of be cool to see. I want to see how, I do want to see how Meg respond because we never really heard Meg in a back and forth.
If she gonna respond.
I mean, that you got it. That ain't no, you can't come out and say that. That was basically direct as hell. They don't get no more direct than that. That was Nicki just dropped her album a week or 2 weeks ago, and that's what it was a big thing. And so for you to sit here and throw, like you threw shots at a whole establishment, a whole goddamn company just to make that, to let people know. Now, I'm not saying I heard everything that was going on. I heard those little disses that you was throwing my way. I'm reminding you, hey, I heard you. I'm going to address this sooner than later. Don't worry about it. You came for me. I promise you I'm going to return you that favor. So I do want to see how Nicki kind of even, get ready because, I mean, we've been listening to Lotto, so you already know. And shout out to Rolling Stone for making it because I told y'all this was April when she performed at Coachella. This was the biggest song of the summer. So for that to be Rolling Stone's #2 song of the year after Sexy Red Ski, I was cool with that. I'm like, all right, cool. I appreciate when my music taste gets acknowledged. I know a lot of y'all was up in y'all feelings about Ski being called the song of the year from Rolling Stone. Bro, I mean, you can't, trust and believe, I tried my hardest. At the beginning of the year or whenever Sexy Red started to make her waves, I was trying to deny it. I didn't want to hear it. I'm like, bro, I don't want to see all this ghetto mess. I'm cool on it. But she just got more pop. She was almost like, no disrespect, she was almost like a gremlin. They kept putting water on her, and she just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like you couldn't deny her. So that's the crazy thing. I think the smart thing is Nicki dropped her album towards the end of the year where you kind of know, like even if you get on your Apple Music today or over the weekend, like when on Fridays they normally upload it, it's still the same. It ain't a bunch of new songs on there. It stayed where it is, and probably realistically it'll be like that for one more week. So after then it'll come back.
Mine's already doing the wrap up.
Yeah, so that's
basically saying like the best.
Yeah, the best songs or whatever case may be, or the songs that you like the most, whatever case may be. So realistically, most of these platforms won't refresh until like probably January 6th, I guess. That'll be the first. Excuse me. So probably like January 5th. Realistically, they probably start going back to work, or some of them may not. It might not even be back until like January 12th because it depends. I mean, realistically, the 5th still run on that New Year's week.
Releasing his the 17th.
Who?
Kanye and them.
Probably because of that, because just those platforms don't, they don't do that.
But I feel like I would want it to be out now, especially during the holidays, because everybody.
Yeah, so to me, I would too, because that helped. That helped. Who did two people it helped out before? It helped out A Boogie one year, and it also helped out Rowdy Rich one year. Because that year, that album that Rowdy Rich put out with the box on there, that album came out took that last little week of Christmas, and it moved on. And I think A Boogie last big album that A Boogie had, it also came out that last little week before Christmas, and it tied on because, like you said, nobody really don't drop, and that's why everybody if you follow a lot of those like little smaller hip hop blog pages, they keep every time they see Future and Metro in the studio together. Oh my God, it's closer and closer and closer to the album. They've been uploading. I wish they would have dropped this week. I wish they would have dropped so you can have that to kind of even bring it to the new year and really listen to it. Because again, like what you said, to me personally, this would be the perfect time. And I do think
you're not really competing with nobody.
Yeah, you're not competing with nobody, and you're not competing with people's ears. And that's why when you, like you said, even when we talk about the wrap-ups and the roll-ups, like this last couple of weeks, I actually got to just listen to music that I've been listening to all year. Like, let me really read back and listen to what albums that I really like, where it wasn't just caught up in the moment. Because even just still with people even trying to push like the Gunna situation and phone, I guess we can tie two conversations into one, but it's still like, have you still really went back and listened to the whole Gunna album since it dropped? Like, of course, Fuck You Mean, yeah, people probably still may listen to that because the song was actually a hit. But if you sit here saying, like, when was the last time I actually listened to that album from start to finish, or even multiple songs outside of that one song, I don't necessarily know if it really had that same replay value. Because like I said, I feel like a lot of that was just, it just caught you. It was shock value to it. You kind of wanted to dissect whatever stories was going on. Academics was breaking down certain, stories that people may didn't know. Other YouTube pages was breaking down lyrics to kind of tie
right
to
now,
together.
But you didn't have replay value, but they got it now. What album you would say right now? When you first listened to it wasn't, but now you listen to it.
I think most of them I still probably was going back to listen to, of course, like the Drake project I was still listening to. Like I really started probably listening to the Drake Jones a little bit more, like that Daylight song. Like I still thought the song originally cranked when it first came out, but I just still kind of find myself playing that heavy in my gym rotation. Album wise, what was a lot of the ESTG? ESTG put out a couple projects, but I feel like I still was listening to those consistently. Probably the last one that he recently put out, the one with it was like, I think like a white Lamborghini in the front and the sky was kind of like bluish. I played that one a lot. What else? Album wise, I didn't. One of the jumps that I think a lot of people pushing that I never really still didn't get into, like that was the Killer Mike project. Like it was cool, but I never really got into it, like how people arguing that it should be album of the year, like nominated the Grammys in the same category as Her Loss, Nowhere in Hell. Like I still get happy every time one of them Her Loss songs come on my gym playlist. I be happy as hell, especially Back Outside Boys or any of them jumps. Like that song, that album still to me, of course, it was last year, but it is going into still because it came like when we talking about late last year. It still fed into this Grammys little whatever program it is. Yeah, so I don't necessarily know, but I still was listening to certain little Ice Spice songs. Who else had an album that I was still going kind of like not the Lil Durk Jones entirely, but it was still certain songs. It was cool on there, but probably still realistically ESTG, Drake. Those probably I look at my when we record next week, I'll have all of them and really look and tell you the exact numbers of what I was really listening to. But just freestyling it, I listened to ESTG a lot. I've got into the YBT. What is it? Why I can't never get these niggas his letters the right way. What is it? YTB Fat. I got into him. I like him, and the crazy thing is, and shout out to John Morant. And that's why I always tell y'all that pressure of him playing in Memphis and kind of politicking with the Memphis rappers a lot. Which I mean, I'm sure the Grizzlies love it because one, you can charge them a crazy bag for them goddamn ticket prices because they're gonna probably be the only people in Memphis who can afford to pay a crazy price for those tickets. But that first game for John Morant coming back, he used it. I think it was floating around on social media. I don't know if he actually posted it on his real page, but it was floating all around Twitter and Instagram. It was YB. I am slow. Why can't I say this boy name? YTB Fat. He got a song called Get Back. That Get Back is a motherfucker. He was playing that on that first game back. So I'm sure since last week, since we recorded, John Morant has had 3 games back. And he had first game was 36 points, second game was 20, and the third game was 30. And they are 3-0 since John Morant has been back. Again, I'll stand firmly on that. If I was the Grizzlies owner, me and Adam Silver will have to have a real conversation that we don't make the playoffs.
They're gonna make the playoffs.
I mean, they might. The way they play right now, and you can tell just the Dog, that excitement is just different. Like the way the team play behind him. And the crazy thing is, they ain't got Marcus Smart back yet. When they get him back to help on that defense end, oh yeah, they gonna be there. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you got a team, you better hope that your team play the Grizzlies enough before he get back. Because if you still got the Grizzlies marched up on your schedule, yeah, it's gonna get difficult, buddy. And one thing that we didn't get to talk about last week, we meant to because you told me about it last week, was the Carolina Panthers. They stink. I think they only won one game this season. Two games. Well, last week they had ticket prices for their home game. It was pouring down, raining
against Atlanta,
and they had tickets as low as $4. Now, of course, unless you and your significant other diehard sports fans, the way it was raining, I don't necessarily know I would even go for that $4. But if it was a nice day and it was $4, shit, dog. You got to think about it. If $4, of course, realistically is probably we talking about at the very top of the jump. But just imagine how the prices.
I don't even think it was all the way up there.
But just still realistically, if it's anywhere in the stadium, if the ticket prices are going at $4, just imagine you can get some good seats. You talking about for probably two people less than $125. If horrible seats is $4, some good jumps probably be like $60 a piece. Like that would have been a cool little steal for a date night. But of course, like I said, the weather was horrible. Like it was raining ridiculously out there. But just for the prices to even get that low was crazy. Shout out to the Dolphins for the Dolphins beating the Cowboys last night in a close game. And it was close. You know what's so crazy? Because when you do that last minute field goal and you need it, because don't get it twisted, people do miss field goals
all the time.
So when you take they literally knocked off all the clock marching the ball down the field, and I'm just thinking to myself like, damn, what if he missed his field goal though? No, but they took it to the 0, dog. He literally clicked the ball with 2 seconds left on the clock. But they had it. Like you talking about, they got in the red zone. It was like 40 seconds left. And I'm like, damn, y'all, they don't even want to take a chance at the end zone again or nothing. They nailed the ball, 40 seconds left. And it's basically, it's over. Ain't too much you can do unless you get a miracle block or something. Because I think even in that game, he made like a 50, 60-yard field goal or something crazy like that. Because and you can't, I guess realistically this part of the season, there are no moral victories for the Cowboys. Because every game matter now, especially if you're talking about seeding wise, what playoff seeds you're gonna get. But I guess if I'm a Cowboys fan, I guess the good part you can kind of look at it is Tyreek Hill didn't have a crazy game. And you know what's so crazy? Just real quick, I paid attention to how some blogs didn't run with that story originally last week when we talked about it, but then I guess when they confirmed it, because I seen even one of the jokes, I think I picked it up from. Yeah, but people didn't need because they probably wanted to double, because having two women at the same time, they probably hold on, and you just got married, so I'm sure they probably was like, let me double check because I don't want to. This nigga got a lot of money. I don't want to get no lawsuit to see if it was crazy. But then I seen okay, they say Cheese was like, no, this is a real story. This really happened. These girls confirmed these jumps. He got 2 girls pregnant at the same time. So then that's when I seen a lot of blogs start to pick back up with that story, because I pay attention. I watch how some they they slow down on certain stories, or they may even delete the post on some of them jumps. But then I seen all of them towards the later it got in this week, they picked it back up and started reposting it again. But yeah, shout out to Tyreek Hill. He still had a half decent game. I think he had 96 yards or something crazy. He did drop one of the jumps. He would have took right to the house. I'm like, nobody was behind him. If he would have caught that one, he probably would have had 200 some yards last night. But it was a close game. It was a close game. It was down to the wire. Like I said, if you're a Cowboys fan, I'm sure, like I said, this point of the season, there are no moral victories. But for that, I guess, narrative that's running that the Cowboys are horrible on road games, playing teams above 500, it was a good one. It was a good one. And for the Dolphins, they got that monkey off their back as well, because they haven't beat no 500 teams at all season. This was the first team that they beat, huh?
Yeah.
No, that was the first one. Google that, John. I promise you that was the story. Even if you go on Instagram and go on Fox, go on NFL Fox, it'll show you. It got there. It even got it crossed off. That was their first game against a 500. Matter of fact, for them, that was their first game. They beat a team above 500 for a whole calendar year.
That's crazy.
So, but maybe real, because you got to think about it. You got to think about because Tua got injured last year towards the end of the season. He didn't play. Remember, he ain't even playing the playoff game. So for them, it been a minute. And then they look what division they in. So you playing teams like the Jets and all that.
That's not true.
It is.
Oh no, they did. They did.
They beat you guys when they beat.
No, I forgot that their losses were to Jaguars,
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City, the Eagles, and Buffalo.
Yeah.
They lost to all the good teams.
Yeah, so they didn't beat no teams that was above 500. So I mean that was that. Like I said, shout outs to them. And real quick, I guess why we kind of still on sports. Shout out to LeBron James. He is the oldest player to ever have a 40-point game with 100% from the 3-point line. So he hit 5 threes against Oklahoma City Thunder. And they had a 40 point. He had a 40 point, and that's why I'm kind of mad. I mean, of course, I mean I was telling Dad earlier. I'm like, though I don't like that people keep trying to throw out the narrative he needs to minutes restriction or whatever the case may be. And I'm sure, I mean, he know his own body. And of course, of the holiday season, I don't necessarily know if he was sitting on. I wish he would have played in that Timberwolves game because I felt like that was a game that the Lakers could have won because they were still in the game, close into the game, and without LeBron to me, I'm like, damn, if LeBron would have played, they could have easily won that game because I don't think the Lakers can win no real games without both of them. Like if you playing a sorry team, maybe you can go one without the other, and I probably would rather go the one would be AD because he just played way more aggressive on the defense and rebounds, whatever. That was the case even just like a week ago when it was the Spurs. One game, AD played, the Lakers smoked the Spurs, and then the next game, AD didn't play, LeBron played, and then the Spurs beat the Lakers. So, I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, again, shout out to LeBron James for being the oldest player to score 40 points and 100% from the 3-point line. And we talked about we glanced over it. The Knicks beating the Bucks on this Christmas Day game and Jalen Brunson scoring 38 points. And it was a story that was floating around where Becky Ham, for people who don't know who Becky Ham is, that is the head coach for the Las Vegas Aces. And of course, they were back-to-back champions now. But the reason why it's a story, she basically said that she don't feel like Jalen Brunson can be your superstar player being an undersized point guard.
Mm-hmm. Which is true.
Because she was just like, if we talking about to win a championship, which is true realistically.
That's true.
Yeah, because it ain't. I can't even think of one who's won one besides
nobody. Without somebody else, nobody.
The Detroit Pistons, the old Detroit. But I'm talking Isaiah Thomas.
But look who he had on there. He had players around him.
Yeah, he had other good players, but he didn't have. And they Hall of Famers because of just that
Joe
time frame they played. And Joe Dumars, of course. But he was still undersized though. Both of them are undersized together.
But we're not undersized like Jalen Brunson is.
She's probably close to it. Isaiah Thomas like 6 foot even.
Yeah, but okay, and Jalen Brunson is like
5'11". Yeah, like 5 years,
5'11",
something crazy like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but shout out to Jalen Brunson.
You talking about if you take him off, if you just have him and you take Randall off, like that team, you know what I'm saying?
Randall be so off and on.
No, he is so. That's what I'm saying. He's so off and on. But that's what it basically like when you saying it's just him as your superstar, but you do still have Randall, but Randall's not consistent.
Yeah, he's not consistent.
If you just
at all.
saying like all I had was just Jalen Brunson, there's no way.
Oh, it's no way you can feel like you can make no real, even if you make a strong push in the East, you can't beat none of them teams in the West with that.
Yeah.
Ain't no way in hell you beating the Lakers or the Nuggets, even Sacramento, because Sacramento they can still go big at times, because don't get it twisted. Shout out to JaVale McGee, be low key just
smart man.
He know how to milk the system, and he come in
the system. You know what you're capable of.
But that's what I'm saying though. But you can forget some nights until you see him get a crazy block on somebody dunk.
But that's why I say, even when we talked about like Cam Newton and all these other athletes, and like you asked me about the other day about John Wall, people have that pride where they just can't be like, nah, I'm gonna just go get, I'm gonna play the game and get the check. They ain't got to be what the check was before. People don't want to take that, that ego. They don't want to bite that ego.
And what's so crazy though, and what you just saying that though is, it's like you wouldn't bite the ego to take a pay cut to keep playing in the league, but then you'll end up trying to go do a podcast and get paid for it. It's like, you could have just kept doing what you've been doing and just took the pay cut. So it's just like like you say, your ego wouldn't allow you to take a pay cut playing your professional sport, and then you end up have to sit here and go grab your podcast.
Because I'm willing to bet if John Wall probably humbled himself and became more of a, I want to be on a team, he probably would be picked up.
But okay, so for people who don't know, I guess the backstory, I asked Marcus yesterday, I'm like, because it was a video going viral of John Wall practicing. Who was he practicing against?
Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek Evans, and he was kind of getting the best of Tyreek Evans.
Never guard.
So I was like, dang, did Houston ever cut him? Because I don't necessarily know, because for people who not familiar, he got traded back to Houston. So, but I'm like, I don't remember Houston ever cutting him, but I know for a fact he never played not one game this season for Houston. So I was like, damn, I don't know if do they still got him and still got that contract, and he just haven't been waived yet, or what's the situation is, because you kind of just like, it's out of sight, out of mind.
He might, and you know what? He might be still on the team because the whole Kevin Porter shit. Because if you, I don't think you know, you only do a certain amount of number of people that you can waive.
Damn, you might be right. So but that'd be my crazy part. So it's just like, and of course, if I'm Houston, I don't even want him around. And they didn't want him around for the same reason why they didn't want James Harden back around, because they want to develop those younger players that they got. They don't want a bold, dominant guard when they got too young, especially an older guy. I got Jalen Green, I got it, and like they hooping right now.
Sit here and pay freaking Van Fleet,
and you pay Dylan Brooks. Yeah, and shout out to Dylan Brooks for Dylan Brooks. Before Ja Morant came back, Dylan Brooks did get his lick back against the Grizzlies because they played, like, he literally caught them right the game right before Ja came back, and Dylan Brooks went back to Memphis and they won. And I think he hit the game winning 3.
That schedule was on your hand.
Oh yeah,
because
if you would have came back one game later, buddy, yeah. And why I do mess with Dylan Brooks, because guess what he gonna do? If Dylan Brooks have a good game or he do something that he ain't supposed to do, this out of body experience for him, he gonna talk that talk. So Dylan Brooks sit here and said, yeah, I'm gonna have it on for the rest of my career. Every time I play the Grizzlies, I'm gonna get him that work. And then he said, and after he hit the game winning, him leaving off the court, he was like, yeah, that's why they pay me what do you get? I think like $80 million. So he was geeked up about that. Shout out to Dylan Brooks for getting his leg back. And I guess we can get back into music real quick. I don't necessarily know. Oh, matter of fact, a clip that was going viral. 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne, of course, they still promoting their album, so they still doing different little platforms. Lil Wayne did sit down with Taylor Rooks, and him and 2 Chainz was doing a sit down together, and they was going over their favorite mixtapes of all time. They were like, what's your greatest mixtape? So 2 Chainz said his was Wayne's Dedication 1, the Jeezy's Trap or Die, and then his True Religion project. Those was his 3 top mixtapes of all times. And then Lil Wayne just said Future 56 Nights. So I appreciate Wayne, because everybody know Wayne is a habitual, I don't listen to other people's music. Like, that is his go-to line. That been his go-to line damn near his whole career. I don't listen to other people's music. I don't know who none of these other rappers is, because I remember that was a whole thing about 21 Savage and Kodak Black. He thought, you know what I'm saying? He thought these people was groups. So that being said, so him to come out and say 56 Nights, only thing I would say is and I want to disagree, but I don't necessarily know, like, I don't know what future junk that I would say was better than 56 Nights, because I do feel like 56 Nights was the one that kind of like, it solidified him. So it's like, it's hard to argue it, because you can still debate, for people who not even Future fans, everybody know March Madness. So it's hard to sit here and say it's another album or another mixtape better because he don't got bigger songs. So it's like, it's like, how do you debate it? Like, how do you, of course it's his opinion, but then it's like, how do you realistically debate that opinion if he say that's the best project, and that's still, it ain't no, I don't know, dog. Don't get it twisted, like, and I guess if you're going off the definition of a mixtape, because I mean, you can throw out like Juice WRLD, the joint with him and Juice WRLD, or the joint with him and Lil Uzi, or I ain't really like the joint like that with him and Young Thug. Future do got a lot of collabo joints, and realistically, even originally, What a Time to Be Alive was supposed to be, I mean, it was a mixtape. It came out on live mixtapes. It came out on that Piff. Like, of course, originally, I mean, then when streaming services got popular, they put them on there, but originally, it came out on live mixtape. You could have like, it was a mixtape.
Was that before Chance? Or that was after?
What? 56 Nights?
No, What a Time to Be Alive. Was that before Chance? Because I thought was Chance the first person that did that? Like, with the whole mixtape?
You probably had to look and see when that Chance the Rapper joint came out. This came out in 2015, so I don't know. Might have probably been. Yeah. Because the reason why I would say I like Dirty Sprite, the original Dirty Sprite, not Dirty Sprite 2, but still that sound from Future is still kind of dated. It's got racks on racks and all of them. Like, that sound just sound old. So it's like saying 56 Nights.
Is that the one where he's talking about how he lost the hard drive?
Yeah.
That's the mixtape. Okay.
So just having like that 50 nights, now I keep saying 50 nights, 56 Nights. That song is a big song. That project was a big project, but like I said again, because it got March Madness on it, it just make it hard to deny that one. Like, if you just saying off of a mixtape, this probably still is one of his biggest songs of his career. It's like, I don't know how you necessarily can debate it. And this was a short project. It was only 7. There's only 7 songs on this. So you talking about 7 songs in there, and 2 of these songs are 2 of your biggest songs in your catalog. I don't know how you can debate it. Like, yeah, as a Future fan, like, that may not be the project that I listen to the most.
Right.
but it's still like two of his biggest songs out of his catalog. So it's like, can you really deny that for real? But again, what else was going on? A lot of, I'm sure some of y'all may have seen, there was a list going around of, I guess, Jay-Z's songs, lyrical songs of 2023. And the crazy thing to me was, and I was just like, oh, why are y'all making such a big deal about this? Like, and again, I understand, listen, Jay-Z is Jay-Z.
2023.
Yeah, so it was like, and the reason why I seen it, because it was like Larry June was floating. I think a Larry June was on there. His junk was floating around. I think it was, I forgot what Larry June song it was.
Hove had it.
Yeah, I'm matter of fact.
All these was Hove features?
No, not his features.
Just,
no, it was songs that
his.
it was just songs that he liked.
Oh, okay.
It was just songs that he liked. What was the name of this junk? I can tell you. Give me 1 second. And I don't even remember what the list was actually called. It was right there. No. And it was a Jay-Z. What was this? Yeah, Jay-Z's top song. Jay-Z's top songs of the year playlist.
Oh, his playlist.
Yeah, his playlist. So,
like Obama and all them.
Yeah, like Obama do. So but I think it was some lyrical jumps, because I don't think it was necessarily favorite song, because some of these songs were just freestyles. Because he had like he had Sauce Walker, when Sauce Walker freestyled over that Drake and J. Cole jump. He had Drake's song where he had the Drake 8 a.m. in Charlotte.
That's
what else
the one
he
with
had?
his son on it?
No. That's Daylight. No.
Oh.
And then he had, the Baby King and Kendrick Lamar jump. He had the J. Cole and Lil Yachty song on there. He had, I want to say that
he had First Person Shooter.
He had that song, was the Killer Mike, Andre 3000 and Future jump.
Yeah.
He had Lil Durk, whatever, when Lil Durk redid the Hustler Music jump from, I don't know what this other person is. Some of these other jumps blurred out. Oh, he even had a jump off of Andre 3000, the flute jump. He had Beyonce, My House. He had Icewear Vezo, Motion, Kodak Black, Let Me See It. Oh, he did have First Person Shoot on there. He had Dangerous Designer from Sauce Walk on there. Yeah, the Lil Yachty Recipe jump. He had a jump from Babyface Ray. What is this? Bosses Link Up. He had Worth It from Offset. The Baby King jump. He had Everybody from Nicki Minaj. And he also had the Water jump. He had Fuck You Mean. He had the Quavo jump with Future, Turn My Click Up. That was one of them songs that kind of just like came and went, but when it was here for a minute,
I feel like it's still around now.
Yeah, people still use it. People still use that clip. But again, that's why I said when we was talking, I guess a couple of weeks ago, when we was just talking about the power of just social media keeping songs alive, because it's just like, when you may forget about something, or you kind of like over the song, and you keep seeing enough people using it still on social media, like, oh, this song still kind of got legs. What was another song he had on there? I mean, his list was decent, but me personally, I'm like, Jay-Z is so off of social media, so detached from the world. Is like,
how legit you think that list is? Yeah,
like, is this really his list? Because like, I listen to Icewear Vezo, but that Motion song to me ain't the best Icewear Vezo song of the year.
Even with like him and Obama, I needed clips of you listening to that.
So I'm with you on that. I totally agree with you. I do need to.
I believe it. If I see you, if you in the maybe whatever you driving and getting shoved around, and you got that like LeBron did, them like a few times.
And LeBron did, rap the lyrics, and he didn't know him. So, but guess what?
That at least I know you are
actually listening to the music. You absolutely right. I agree with you.
I give LeBron that credit, but like, if you just put a list out, like, damn, I don't know if you playing this or not.
No, I totally agree with you, and I think that, but that again, sometimes to me, even just like that's you absolutely right. That using LeBron as the example is the perfect way to solidify that, because at least people get to see LeBron James listening to music. Oh, he like the, you know what I'm saying, when he working out, he listening to music, whatever the case may be, and it solidifies. So even when you see him working out and he playing a song, it do help people get, because this ain't something, this is not fake. We see him all the time listening to music when he working out, so it kind of solidifies some of those songs where it makes it more legit. Like, okay, yeah, LeBron was listening to this jump when he was working out, or even like I said with just the YB with the YB Fat situation with Ja Morant, because it was just like, All right, well, it's in Memphis. It makes sense. Even when I remember, I forgot what game it was. It was a Houston game when Houston was playing Memphis, and it was a clip going, and I sent it to us in the family group chat. I'm like, bro, y'all be mad at Ja Morant. Look what the Grizzlies is playing in this goddamn arena. And they was playing some. I want to say they was playing some YB Fat inside the arena. So it's just like, yeah, I do need to know. I need to watch you or see you like at least weekly or daily. Like if you had a gym playlist and you sitting here showing people, okay, this is what I'm listening to while I'm in the gym. Then it kind of solidifies your lists if you come up with a list at the end of the year, because you just randomly putting songs together and they kind of be like, all right, did you really listen to all these Jones? And because we really personally don't know Jay-Z like that. Right. So we kind of only going off of when he out at dinner with Beyonce, and I think I seen somebody making a videos of the wine, like people Googled the wine bottles that they had, and a bottle was like $100,000, and it's kind of like, no, how you drinking $100,000 wine and you really listening to Kodak Black? Like that seems so dramatically left. Like you spend $100,000 on wine and you listen to Kodak. Like, come on, dog, let's be serious.
That could be true.
It could be, but it's hard to believe. So that's why I agree with you. I need to see you riding around listening to these songs in 2024 to kind of make this really seem like some of those. This is one of those paid Rock Nation lists.
Okay.
But you can let this on load up, give it a second, and we can count. I need to piss so we can get right back to it. I'm gonna tell you how it slipped my brain. I didn't necessarily know how we even let this episode go this far without getting into Simone Biles and her husband, which of course was probably one of the biggest stories.
We talked about it, but we didn't.
We didn't talk about it last week, did we?
I feel like we did.
No, we couldn't have it because it ain't come out until that ain't literally come out until I want to say the other day. Like that came on like 2 days ago. We definitely didn't talk about it.
I thought we said something.
But yeah, so for people who don't know what we're talking about, Simone Biles and her husband, both of them was on the show, but I think the clip realistically only showed her husband talking. I didn't go watch the whole thing because literally, I mean, to me, he's nobody. We talk about.
Yeah, I think we did talk about him because you was talking about. I think they interviewed or asked him something. We talked about him because you was like, nobody come to the game for you. We talked about him.
Yeah, I don't think we did. I'm 100% positive we didn't. But just real quick, just so even if we did, we can just kind of just refresh people's brain in case this your first, you didn't listen to last week's episode. Simone Biles and her husband went on to the Pivot podcast. For people who don't know what the Pivot is, just do your Googles. They used to be on I Am Athlete, so now they got their own separate podcast. And they was interviewing him, and in the process of that interview, he basically was saying like when they first started dating, I guess they met each other on I want to say like one of those, I think it's called Raya or something. I guess that's like the rich people version of Tinder. So I guess I don't know how it works. I've never been on a dating app before. Whatever they guess they linked up. So he didn't really know who she was. I guess he was kind of fake, not doing his research on her, whatever the case may be. But he made it. And what the point that got everybody attention was him saying he was the catch. So a lot of people was on the fence with it. Was a lot of dudes trying to sit here and be like, why can't he be the catch? And I'm just like, no, this is the thing that will blow me with men. No, we watch sports. Even if we just keep this time, screw the whole dating part. And we just keep this strictly on sports and we comparing careers. You talking about a Hall of Famer, all-time great at their career, and somebody who literally only time they even acknowledge anything about him at the game is when she at the game. And they still never pan to him.
I still don't. I mean, at the end of the day, because he is the man, I feel like because he regardless of how he is on the team, he's in the NFL. So as an athlete, I feel like I didn't seek you out because where do you really find, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it was more so she's seen him.
I mean, they see you both y'all on a date nap. Y'all seek each other out. Y'all was looking to date somebody, and it was during the pandemic. Y'all was looking to date somebody. Y'all both were on a date nap. So it's not like I was being thirsty for you under your Instagram post. No, y'all both was on a date nap. So both of y'all was looking for somebody. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think you would be like, oh damn, that's Simone Biles. I don't.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm listening to what I'm saying. I'm not. You missing what I'm saying because I don't necessarily know what she looked like. Like if she walked into a room with me, I wouldn't know who she was. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying he's an ugly man. But I'm talking about if this was sports and sports only, career wise, which we do with everything else. When we debate sports, we debate people's stats, we debate people's accolades. She and him ain't in the same conversation. Money wise, yeah, he play in the NFL. Let's not make it. And I hate when I heard people say that, bro. He play in the NFL and he ain't even a top 100 player. Well, let's not make it like he's rich. He may be rich to the average person, but he ain't rich compared to an NFL contract. Like, what are we talking about? I think he played running back or something. Like, he don't get no real bag. Like, what are we talking about? So my whole point of what that situation was when people sitting here saying, I'm like, and I'm like, dog, as a man, screwed it. I understand and men be wanting to get in their Kevin Samuels bag, but though we talking about, as a man, you could be able to keep this just on sports and sports alone. Those two people should not even be in the same conversation. So for him to be like, hey, I was the catch or whatever case may be, and then some people was defending like, oh, she was right there smiling or whatever case, and she may feel that way. I don't know her dating past or her dating history. That's why I say let's just keep it on sports. In sports and sports alone, on their accolades, these two people should not be in the same conversation at all. Right. So you can treat this exactly like you would treat the same way how y'all felt about Aisha Curry seeking for validation or whatever the case may be, and she's married to the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. Like, come on, dog. Y'all better keep that same and that's sometimes I catch myself. I'm like, bro, yeah, this video going too viral. I ain't about to sit here and engage with y'all in the comments. I'm just gonna read some of these comments. I'm gonna remember of them so I can talk about it on the podcast. But I seen so many dudes was like up in there, like their panties was in a bunch. Why do it gotta be about money, nigga? Because it's always about money. What are you talking about? This 20, the same way we just talked about this 21 Savage thing at the beginning of the episode. It's always about money in 2023 when we talking about dating. When you start throwing around the words, oh, I'm the catch and this, that, and the third, bro, it's gonna come down to that. And these two people, conversation financially or whatever, them two ain't in the same ballpark. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that's just how America works. I don't make the pay grade, I don't make the pay system, I don't play the sport. They both play it and he ain't him. Cameron's famous all pink Range Rover with the pink interior went on sale on Facebook Market Space for $16,000. This vehicle is 2003 Range Rover, and it got 100,000 miles on. I'm not gonna lie to you, 16,000 seemed like that's disrespectful. I ain't even gonna hold you, especially because it was Cam's.
Shit, 400 something miles.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. So
2003,
16,000 though.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's 20 years ago.
20 years. That's a lot.
Maybe if Cameron was more lit, it wouldn't go for that. And if this was Drake, that wouldn't go for 16,000.
If it didn't have the miles on it, I think it would be a better. You know what I'm saying? Because it had like that shit was driving like a regular car.
Though we see other stuff go for crazy prices. Though we just talked about it last week. The Messi jersey went for like $7 million. I think it's just who the person is.
But even like that, I think it was Jordan. I think it was like his first car or something like that. And that joint been sitting for a minute.
Well, it was that red Porsche, I think.
Yeah. And that went, but it didn't have, like I said, I feel like that pink truck was getting driven like a regular car.
I mean, it had 100,000 miles on it. I mean, 100,000 miles for a car that's 20 years. That's not bad either, though.
But when the last time I seen camera on it, like that's what I'm saying. Like it just got a rack of miles. Like
yeah, like to be honest, I don't think Cameron, and there's no disrespect to Cameron, I just don't think he is as popular anymore neither. So people probably just don't care. Like I can't see somebody paying something crazy like not like I said, no disrespect to Cam, but nobody really don't care about Cam to sit here and pay something crazy for a junk that got 100,000 miles. But I do feel like if it had that same mileage and it was
with that fur, yeah, give me the fur. Throw the fur in there too.
I don't care what you throw in there. If that was Drake and that was that same exact car, and this was a signature Drake car, I promise you right now. Even if matter of fact, if it was a little Uzi car, I'm 100% positive it'll go for more than 16 grand. Because some of those people just got diehard fan bases.
Oh, you saying Cam ain't got that type of base?
Yeah, he don't have that fan type of. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he doesn't have a fan base for that.
Got you.
Like people who are willing to spend. Like think about the crazy white dude or Arab dude who may be in the cryptocurrency or got endless oil or something. They don't really care about Cam, but let it be like I said, like a Kanye or a Drake or something like that. Or if it even was a Messi joint that he rocked the pink jersey, like that joint was a joint that he drove or something crazy like that. Like come on, dog. And while we talking about cars and money, we did talk about this young man maybe 2 weeks ago. What is his name? Shohei Ohtani. He wanted to wear the baseball player. So he wears the jersey number 17, and of course he is now officially. You play for the Dodgers, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he went to the Dodgers for that massive contract, and he wanted the jersey number. So I guess I forgot what I was listening to, and they were saying how his wife was tweeting. Matter of fact, I think I was listening to Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, and his wife, I guess, tweeted out. I guess when they figured out he was a free agent, hey, if you come to the Dodgers, I'll give you my husband jersey number. I will. So I think that's why.
That's how. Okay, because I remember, as me and my coworker, he was talking about it, and he was saying, and I remember they said she was the reason why that whole deal went through because of her green, pretty much green lighting it. I didn't know she actually. That made 100 more. That made it 100 times more. Why it made more sense that he sit here and gave up he bought her the car. So realistically, of course, over the week, that was a hell of a deal. Because most people, because even Shannon Sharp went into what he was saying, what he offered people for a jersey number before. Like he said when he went to the Ravens and he wanted to keep 84, he offered a dude, him and his wife, a Rolex. And I think at the time he was saying like the male Rolex was like 14,000 and the woman Jones like 10. So I think it was like 20, like 24,000 or something like that. And but he was like, the dude turned it down. Like the dude was like, nah. Who the fuck was that?
I can't remember, but the dude told him no. So and that's how he ended up getting 82 when he played in Baltimore. And he said he ended up buying that dude like a fishing boat or something. It was for like I want to say that he said 20,000, I think, something like that. Mm-hmm. But compared to still the homeboy buying this man's wife a Porsche, that you talking about them Jones was like 100-something bands, brand spanking new. So shout outs to him for paying it.
Would you feel some type of way?
No, because his wife the one who jumped out the window.
No, I know she jumped out the window, but this man just bought you a Porsche.
No, because she's the one who initiated it.
I get that but just like, oh, this, you know how I'm like.
I get what you're saying, the ego wise, but I don't necessarily think it's some store. It's just I don't think you can't have no ego in this one because I'm sure, Yeah, I don't think you could just have no ego with this.
Shit, what if you one of them niggas that ain't spending the money either? Oh man,
Man, but you're a baseball player though. Them they get different type of bread.
You might
baseball players, but even though
you might be like a Kirk Cousins, like you don't want to spend the money type of, I've lived countrywide.
Yeah, but that's even just. But I don't think it's so. But realistically, I think. Let's be honest. I think and that's the difference between, to make it a little racy. I think that's the difference between dating a white celebrity and a black celebrity. I think even for white men, they date women who still kind of fit who they are. Like, I don't Peyton Manning's wife, like, dog, she took a charge for him realistically. And with whatever that law, whenever they were trying to bust him in Denver for whatever the SGH or whatever whatever when his neck, whatever they were trying to say he was taking. So you got to think about it. Like, it's some of those people, like Peyton Manning don't look like, you wouldn't see to me, Peyton Manning don't seem like the type of dude, or his wife would be one of those,
press.
Yeah, I got to have a Rolls Royce and she trying to still get her face done up and look super young or nothing. Like, that's not Peyton Manning's swag.
I was just wondering, because I know that raise up.
Like, even look at Patrick Mahomes. Like, if you look at his wife, like, she's just mad regular. Like, it ain't nothing. Like, she just don't look like she's super, like, crazy about, like, I need to be. Or even when you see his dad, like, I think certain players, I think it's just more of a. The sad thing about it is basketball players. Like, they the ones who out here chasing the Instagram models or whatever the case may be.
I don't think it's just basketball. It's just. I think it's
all
of them.
But I'm just saying. But I think you could sometimes where it's just like. I can only imagine if I'm dating a black woman and I'm a multi-millionaire, she gonna want a lot.
You know what? I just think we get caught up in it more than everybody else.
What, the material stuff, or just
or
who they dating?
Who you dating and how it get on Front Street. Everybody else, the other races might they go through it, but it just don't get picked up because, like I said, we play into it way more than everybody else. That probably is.
And even just with that, even kind of we talking about dating, just look how quiet the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's situation. And she still go to the game. She was at the game today. But yeah, so my point is, but it's just still like that storyline is died down because the Chiefs been playing like cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that story ain't as loud no more when they not winning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, but she's still in the jump. Like, and because like sometimes when you use like the GIFs or whatever on the little meme jumps on Instagram, I'm thinking it was like, is this the same regular jump? No, and I'm like, oh, she got a Christmas hat on. No, this is from today's game. Mm-hmm. So it was just so crazy, but it's just like, even just with her, like, bro, she's super rich, but when you see pictures, like, she be mad regular. She don't look like super made up. I don't have to be like, she just look like a regular woman. So I think sometimes with, like, when you saying with the Porsche thing, even if he was a cheap dude, I don't necessarily know if his wife probably don't care. Like, I'm cool. I don't got to go to work, but I'm not into just all the super flashy, whatever stuff. And like, I tell y'all that all the time when we go look at Joe Rogan. He is the biggest, ain't no podcast, man or woman. It don't matter who you are, NPR, Criminal Minds, or any of those Jones. None of them can't do Nathaniel with Joe Rogan. Just go get on Spotify and just type in the Joe Rogan episode. Just look at his shirt, bro. He literally is a Target t-shirt wearing, and this man is filthy rich. His contract from Spotify, I think, was like $100 million a year to podcast. And he literally just be with a regular t-shirt on every episode. Not no Balenciaga, not no Margiela or none of that crazy stuff. Like, that's just it's the sad thing about it, but that's some black stuff. That is black people's behavior. We get so caught up and twisted and geeked up into all of that.
So, and I mean, just to stay on relationships and spinning the block back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Tamar got proposed to again.
Bro, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. How was that a thing? I seen it, and because I don't really keep up with that stuff, but I was like, I could have sworn the only reason why I even know halfway about the story, I was like, because she went on the Breakfast Club before, when she recently, I guess, was supposed to get engaged sometime, I guess, last year, or it's still this year. And I'm like, how you get engaged again? And how do you move so fast? This man literally was just eating the lady you was beefing with over her opinion on you bringing out Krishan. And I'm like, dog, what are y'all like? That lady is weird. And every time I see her face, like, I don't know if she's sick or something, bro. Her face look insane, dog. Like, y'all keep asking what's wrong with Lil Wayne face. No, what's wrong with that lady face?
Could you do it again? I mean, of course, if I was a nigga, I
wouldn't. I'm not proposing again. What am I doing it again for?
Goddamn ring we already had. I ain't buying a new ring.
Oh, yeah, if it's the same ring, then cool.
Yeah, I'm not buying a new ring.
But even, yeah.
But then again, see, that's who called it quits the first time.
I want to say she did.
Oh, yeah, you getting the same ring then. You're getting the same ring.
Yeah, and then it'd be certain stuff. I guess if you're not on social media, then cool, she could post and do whatever to make herself look stupid or put herself back on the blogs, but it'd be just like, yeah, that's just weird. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a conversation, and I'm trying to think, like, I don't even know how you can do it. But I was telling Top, like, it was just, I forgot, he sent me some rap, and I'm like, dang, I forgot he even rapped, because there's no space that you can kind of go to be like, I'm about to go to see what new rap songs or rap videos are. Like, you know how like when people actually went in the house and you had to get on a laptop to watch YouTube or watch World Star, because I think that was one of the things that got lost the most, especially for the music business, is like, what is the place that you go every day? Like for rappers to get picked up on the Shade Room or something, one thing you probably got to pay for an ad, or you got to do something outlandish and stupid to get picked up. So like, where do people actually get picked up for music? There's no, and I think a lot of, for one, even blogs or podcasters, you'll probably get discouraged. And I know even for me sometimes, you'll get discouraged or you'll find yourself stop wanting to talk about people if they're not acknowledging you, because it's just like, no, I can talk about something else. Like I can talk the top. I can just stay on. And that's why I understand sometimes like with the Shade Room and them, and they stay on Krishan and Blueface and these people, because these names work in the algorithm, and then two, these people at least acknowledge your page, interact with the comments or whatever the case may be. So of course you're gonna keep posting somebody where you don't make you seem like you on some super stan and I'm a super fan for somebody else, but it's just like, dog, you got people sitting here feeling like I'm a super fan of yours, and I'm really not, because your music ain't really hitting like that. It's just like, what's the point for me? It'd be like, what's the point of me sitting here still posting this? So I guess like I don't want to sit here and say it, I guess, in a negative way, but almost like the death of World Star or the death of the website. It's like, where's my go-to site that I'm going to daily to get my music information? Like, how do I get to figure out who dropping something new, what's new out, or whatever case may be? Because you kind of, you don't. And I'm supposed to stuff that you
new hip hop. Hot new hip hop still running, right? Like it's still,
yeah, but even for them, it's still like they kind of because you still they want to keep.
It's not convenient.
One, it's not convenient, and then they still, even like I still go to them like when I'm trying to look up for certain topics or stuff that's more hip hop driven. Even for them, they still got to kind of play the algorithm game, so they still got to do a lot of the like little hot bloggy topics or whatever the case may be. So it's not necessarily, I'm not even going for them for the music. Mm-hmm. I'm going to them because they may just like, it's just the same stuff for real. Even for Complex, a lot of them, because you still you gotta, I guess, want to keep up with advertisement. You can't just lean on, hey, this is the new music from such and such. That's why, like, you really got to give like shout outs to like Live Mixtape and World Star, because even when you see a lot of artists, they complain about, man, I wish days went back to live, like the Live Mixtape days, and I'm kind of like, why ain't they still like that though? Like, because it's the artist, because you think about it, if I seen Doughboy, people who don't know who Doughboy is, he signed the Future, and he was like, I remember back in the day, and he was one of the artists who was spending a lot of money with Live Mixtape. He was like, I can at least spend $1,500 and know I'm gonna be on the front page of Live Mixtape. And he told me,
so even with that, do it really drive the revenue up on being on there?
What you mean, the revenue, or do you mean do it drive
for you
as an artist?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say the revenue, but it drives up your visibility. And then realistically, because most artists know how much it costs to get certain slots. Like, let's say for like, if you was to get the band on Live Mixtape, that I think that it was like $10,000.
So okay, so right now, what will you think more value for your career, being on that, or like,
I mean, of course, no. I mean,
Apple?
realistically, I mean, of course, Apple Music now, because, or even Spotify, like being on one of those playlists. But I don't necessarily know. Even for those playlists, I don't necessarily know how strong some of them are anymore, because it kind of go back to what we were just saying with the Jay-Z situation. It's like,
I think I think playlists are kind of are useful, depending on, like I said, now how, if you just use because even with me, I like that the repeat joint that I always use. Like, it'd be a lot of different stuff flowing in and out of it. Yes, you do have your consistent songs, but you further on you go down, more you listen to, you find in new music or something. You can catch it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, with them playlists, like I don't downfault them. Now, maybe if they were more visible, probably.
But okay, so even with the playlist, I think, just because going back to what we said about the Jay-Z, no, but not even just going back to what we were saying with the Jay-Z thing, I think sometimes you may need a personality attached to the playlist. Where it's like,
so if it was like what's the real life? You have one on those that's on Apple?
So I think what is Ebro? It's Ebro, Nadeska, and Low Key. I watch them sometimes because they do upload them on YouTube sometimes. But yeah, something like that where they at least have a personality, where they discussing music, so you can kind of appreciate sometimes maybe even where their point of view of what's coming out, or who should I be looking for, or whatever the case may be. So you're absolutely right. Apple does do a decent job at that, but I think even for them, besides Ebro, the other two not as big on social media, or their episodes be like 15 minutes. When you talking about a 15-minute episode for once a week, it's kind of like, no, it's new music, it's new artists breaking all the time. Like, what's the new person who don't have a budget? And I think that was the cool thing for the live mixtapes in the world style, because it was kind of like, oh, this is the new, I know for a fact, this is the new drug dealer from some city because he got all this money behind him, because I know how much it costs to get on this live mixtape banner. So if you got 10 bands to spend on this, it's going to at least get my attention, because it'll give people respect, because they're like, oh, if you got 10 bands to spend on some music, then that kind of let me know. Or even like when the big box on World Star, at one point in time, it was like 3,000, and then the bigger one may have been like 5 bands. So for me to know that you spent that type of money, at least I know you got some bread. So it make it a little bit, or people behind you got some money, so it make it a little bit more believable for me to listen to your music. If you on there talking about I got bands or whatever the case may be, well, at least you can spend some money on promo.
But see, and that's why I was kind of shocked, like when I be hearing you and Matt talking about how y'all don't like when Joe and them do the sleepers. But like, even when I'm listening to that, I caught a lot of good songs. You know what I'm saying?
So I think so perfect example. And the crazy thing is, because we can talk about it, because when Joe went on Savon and them podcasts, even when they was reading his numbers off, 80% of the people who listen to it. So let's just say, if 80% of the people listen to the full duration, and realistically that it drops off at that sleeper segment, because you gotta think about it. If your audience is, and what he was saying is, if your audience is 85% men, me and Matt don't listen to R&B like you do. So of course we cut it off. So if the very first person who go on the sleepers, he playing R&B, I cut it off. So it's just like, because if I'm looking at the time and it's okay, they're getting the sleepers and there's only like 20 minutes left. Okay, each person play a whole song out. But I don't care about whatever the last 5 minutes or whatever y'all talking about. I'm cool. I miss it. It is what it is. So it's not that deep. So if he was starting off with, if 85% of your audience is men, then why you not starting off with some rap?
Gotcha.
So if he was starting off with rap, I would listen. But you sit here starting off with an R&B song, and I know I don't listen to R&B, so I kind of cut it off. And everybody else on your junk is like, it's hit or miss for them. Like when Maul was there, I may have stayed a little bit longer, because even to be honest, I'm sure Maul probably mad about it. He was the first person to play 6ix9ine on it. He was the first person who brought up Lady London. So for somebody like if we talking about playlists or people's opinion on music, Maul kind of had a better ear for music. Like I said, he was the first person on a big platform to bring up Lady London and to bring up 6ix9ine. So you kind of like, all right, well, he 2 for 2 then. Don't matter how you feel about 6ix9ine now, but at least at that point in time, before the snitching stuff, 6ix9ine music was hot. 6ix9ine was putting out some cranking songs. People was liking it. The energy was something completely different. So okay, cool. So now, of course, okay, I can listen. If the second person go is Maul, then I can go through and at that time, even early in it, Joe wasn't just playing R&B, so you kind of never knew. But if I know for a fact now all he gonna do is play R&B, I'm cutting it off immediately. As soon as he say, "Oh, it's time for sleepers," I cut it exactly off, because I'm just not a R&B person. So what I'm saying is, if that's your audience, if your audience was 85% women, then cool, I will understand it. But if you saying 85% men, so that's my saying for men still, or rappers or whatever, there ain't no space, and I don't necessarily know how you can still get a space, because the internet is such a big thing now, and everybody do it off their phone.
Gotcha.
So I don't necessarily know how that. I mean, I don't know how you can answer, I guess, that question. Let that load up real quick, and we can come back with something. What time you on?
5:46.
You can go to 6:30. You cool?
No matter. I mean, we can then go back later. I mean, it don't matter to me.
this morning. They literally broke a door off.
What happened?
Go to state lost.
Oh, to Denver?
Yeah. It was tied when I last.
You ready?
Yeah.
Since we were just kind of going down memory mountain real quick, I do want to play this clip. I seen this on Say Cheese, and they was showing like flashbacks. So, because back, of course, when we talking about back in the day, like the World Stars and live mixtape, that kind of bring back to Jordan retro releases, especially like of course, that Christmas day, not necessarily a Christmas Day release, but the shoes normally used to come out like, it depends on what day Christmas came out. It would be like a day or two before Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve. Jordan normally would used to have some big releases. So this clip I'm about to play, this was from the Jordan, the concourse, the black and white pattern levels for people who don't know about the concourse.
Into Lafayette Square Mall just after 7 this morning. They literally broke a door off the hinges. Several people were trampled while others crawled over them to get inside.
It was a few people that was on the ground. I jumped over them and kept running.
It's Michael Jordan. That's what he do. This was one of his most known shoes.
11 concourse exclusive. You see what I'm saying? I ain't been out in 11 years.
Shoppers in a hurry to get in line left behind shoes that had been on their feet and some of their clothes. Dozens of Metro police officers responded to malls around the city to help with crowd control. Police raced to Washington Square to help as hundreds of shoppers tried to be the first in line. At Castleton Square Mall, police and mall security flooded into Lafayette Square Mall just.
All right, so yeah, so like I said, when I seen the clip and I was just like, "Dag, you're an old head when you just see those little clips and they kind of just like it give you nostalgia and they kind of make you think of just like." And it's a dude I follow on Instagram. I don't know if I sent him to you. I'm sure I probably sent him a minute. He got a whole nostalgia page and he do like old like sneaker releases. But I just was looking at that, Joe, and I was just like, damn, how times have really changed. Like people used to go crazy for Jordan, dog. I remember one time waiting for them same exact jumps.
But they don't the band outside waiting.
Yeah, and I think realistically for people's safety,
they should have gone back to.
Yeah, but that safety was kind of crazy though. Like for people, think about how because back in the day, people used to rob people in line for them shoes. Like. So I guess for safety purposes, it kind of makes sense. And then not necessarily don't because I think Nike and Jordan dropped so many shoes right now. Like even doing Christmas shopping and I went into Dick's, I'm like, dang, if I still was really into buying sneakers, like especially we talking about like player shoes, like they got every pair of Jones in there. They got the Giannis's, they got the Paul Georges, the Kyrie, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, whoever got their own signature shoe right now, they all in stores. Like you can go into the store and just get them. I don't necessarily know I'm sure it's probably certain pair of Jordans, but I'm sure Jordans now don't sell out as much as they used to. I don't even know.
They still do. They just putting out so
but I'm saying they putting out so many, so that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying so many back to back.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you don't never really feel left out if you miss a pair. Like, okay, cool. If I miss a pair, I just get something next week. Or if you just not even, I think so many people may not necessarily be in the Jordans as much as they used to. Because I think realistically, you could kind of sit here and say, I guess the dunks, because Jordan 1s got so popular, the dunks kind of replaced it.
But them and the pattern levels, I feel like go hand in hand. Now the other ones like the 5.4s and the 3, you know what I'm saying? Like you actually a sneakerhead if you really, still
buy certain
those. But the ones, the Jordan 1s now and the pattern levels, I feel like always hot topic. I mean, for that everybody.
Yeah, and just I guess real quick, shout outs to Udonis Haslam. If people don't know who that is, number 40 for the Miami Heat. His jersey will get retired. What is it, January 16th? I believe. Yeah, January. Yeah, that's
next month.
Yeah, hold on. I just seen it. No, January 19th. Yeah, January 19th, his jersey will get retired. And shout out to Javonte Davis. Javonte Davis bought back his neighborhood that he grew in, or a block, I guess, basically the block he grew up on in Baltimore, where he gonna basically, I guess, knock down some of those and rebuild them back up so it can be affordable. So it can be affordable homes.
That shit was on fire.
Oh, that's what happened. That's why the fire truck was out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't know that. I didn't even clear. I just seen it.
I don't know. I don't know if it was right after he bought them joints or doing. It was on fire. And that's what they kept saying. Javonte Davis went back to the neighborhood and ended up catching on fire.
Oh, it probably don't matter because he was gonna rebuild them joints anyway. Oh, hold on. Sad to say, the block Javante Davis purchased in Baltimore yesterday has been burnt down. Javante is committed to reevaluate. Oh, okay, yeah. So you're right. So yeah, okay. Now I read it. I didn't. When I made this a headline, when I made it a story, I didn't even see this. I didn't even go. I didn't even read that part. I was just talking about because I seen the clip when he was out there and the dude was giving him the plaque for buying that block. So I mean, hopefully, I hope nobody ain't do it just to hate on him because it looked like it's only what I'm kind of one. It looked like 3 houses caught on fire, so it wasn't the whole entire block. It was like 3 out of them, Joe. So I don't know if somebody did it hating wise because he went and bought it. And that's the only thing. Sometimes you got to, I guess, be careful about going public with some of those things because people just do be hating so much. That's why even a lot of
wrong person.
That's why even a lot of sometimes when a lot of musicians and stuff. I remember I was listening to this interview. Who was this? Was it what's the Lord nigga that's going back and forth with Boosie? Young Blue. When Young Blue was saying he was buying like restaurants and stuff or investing in them, he was like he didn't put his name on them because he didn't want people. Partner. Yeah, just being a silent partner because he didn't want people to sit here and come and do stuff like that, burn it down or try to sue it because he got what I'm saying he got his name attached to it. So it's just certain things like that's why you got to kind of give T.I. his credit because T.I. has done a lot of big businesses and built up that even with the Trap Museum, like for that to be as big as it is. And everybody know this is a T.I. affiliated situation, or even his restaurants there, or even for 2 Chainz. Like a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like for some, because a lot of them have had businesses that people kind of came and did, shoot. Like if you was beefing with somebody in the streets and people come and shoot up your restaurants, whatever the case may be. So for some of them to even be able to move along without any of those things happening, you got to kind of give them credit where credit is due. This dude was wilding out for people. It's an Alabama offensive lineman, Elijah Pritchett, has been arrested and charged for knowingly giving someone STDs for this. So basically, what he was doing was he was going around still having sex with women, knowing that he had an STD and not giving them a heads up. And we talked and we was talking about it last week when I kept telling y'all to strap up when we was talking about Tariq and we was talking about Anthony Edwards. I do think just again because back in the day, it's just certain things like I don't care how freaky you was, dog. Having condoms was a thing. Like even just not a thing now. And that's the sad part.
It's not a thing now.
And that's what I'm talking. But listen to it. But that's my point of where it's just like
that's why when you said that last week about. Y'all need to strap up. Niggas don't even do that shit.
But that's my point. But look how crazy it can be. You can really because if you so loosey goosey, you're giving people STDs. And realistically, if you don't never get tested, you can sit here and still be having something and never know. So he probably didn't got tested, and now he got you. They know you got it. It's on record that you got it, and you still out here giving. Bro, you can go to jail for that. And if you got a real he had just having an STD, he might probably got herpes or something. But if he had something real like AIDS, bro, you can go to jail for that. In a lot of cities and states, that's a criminal crime, and it depends on how full blown it may. You can almost get damn near manslaughter charge. I mean, of course, because they got medicine for it now, the charges may not be as strong as they was at one. But but that's like I said, man, put that rubber on. I understand how good it feel without it, but
don't leave home without it.
You better not. But you gotta think about this. What I'm just saying, as a kid. To me, how we used to make it a thing as a neighborhood to all walk down. And for people who don't know, of course, we lived on Landover. So, baby, to walk on Central Avenue, they used to have the what was it? The little health clinic thing right there on Central Avenue, right across the street from the parking lot, across the street from the La Pearl for people, the Mad Chef or whatever you want to call it, right across the street on the other side of the street, and you could walk in there and they had it literally like a lunch bag, a brown lunch bag full of and of course the condoms was horrible, but they still had them. It was a bag of lifestyle rubbers. So before niggas even thought you could fit a Magnum or you even knew how trash them condoms was, because realistically, we being honest, if you young, you jackrabbit and you humping all hard and fast, them condoms was gonna pop on you. And that's why they gave you that big ass bag, because you was gonna run through them. You was gonna run through that bag extremely fast. But it still used to be a bragging thing that you was like, I need to go back and get some more. You get what I'm saying? So it used to be like, okay, we'll walk as a whole neighborhood. It'll be like 20 niggas just walking to the goddamn health joint to get free rubbers. But that's my point. Where you talking about now, and you got to think about it. For us to sit here and say, "Oh, it's not a thing no more." For a lot of people in your 30s, you grew up where it was a thing, and now you have eliminated the whole complete thing of it's not even a thing no more to you. It don't even register in your brain to be like, "Oh, you got some rubbers."
Freak boys.
Yeah. Not for just freak boys, freak girls too. It's just that's a whole general thing, because at one point in time, though, you couldn't even think about getting some raw. What, nigga? Please, you ain't got no rubber. You ain't getting no cheeks. Now they don't even 9 times out of 10, though, a woman won't ask you, do you got rubbers, until y'all done been going raw too many times.
Now that's my question though, because you go ahead if she don't ask the question. If you ask, if she asked the question, oh, do you got a rubber?
No, if we are, we have an honest and real conversation right now. Though I have dealt with women where it may be like the 5th time, and now you asking the 5th time where it's like, all right, we getting two one because you think about it, all right, we just getting to know each other. We kind of just and that, but just you think about it when I'm thinking about it out loud and you saying it now, you be like, bro, that's ridiculous. That you already done went raw 5 times. Now you sitting here saying, no, we getting too comfortable. We need to put a condom on. Oh, them 5 times you could have been pregnant already. And shout out to the women who just I'm not gonna lie to you. Just for me, I'm thinking about if I'm clipping this up with my brain. That's how I be wrong. I'm like, dog, just shout out to the women who literally, if you had raw sex with somebody and you try to just play women who send nudes and then you start acting brand new with dudes, I'm like, that's crazy to me. Like if I sent somebody a nude before, I'm never playing big with them on social media. Or if you didn't had sex with somebody raw, I don't get how y'all can sit on social media and act like people don't exist. That's crazy to me. Like that is a different level of psychology that some of y'all really need to go get therapy. Y'all be talking about going to go see the lady and have therapy. You need to ask somebody how you can mentally play them type of games with your own physical health and your own mental health, because that's insane to me, because I can't do it. I'm not going to sit here and act like, if you let me hit them cheeks without no rubber, dog, I'm not about to act like you sit here like I don't know you. I'm not going to acknowledge you enough. And like to me is just hilarious and it's crazy. Real quick, I guess because we didn't really touch on holidays. Do you, man, when you were a kid, I mean, you don't post it all, but I always wonder, do people feel some type of way? Because you know what's so funny? It was this girl, I think she had like some like little donation joint on her page or something, right? So, and then she got me on her close friends too. So, I'd be like, when people post their kids, bro, I skip it. I don't even heart it or nothing. Like, I'm not liking some. I don't even want to see your kids. You lucky I don't skip the whole story, but I keep going. So then you hit the show, and I guess I hit the joint, and she was like, oh, I thought you was, sending something to the. I'm like, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I ain't never even look at the donation thing. I only look when if you posting something with a kid or your family members in it, bro, I'm skipping past that every time. I don't like. I just no shade, but to me, it's kind of weird liking people pictures with their kids. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's Christmas Day, so when I seen people doing them, if we don't got no real,
let me ask you, what you think is worse, seeing the matching pajamas or the family pictures that you went to the store, the professional family pictures?
What you mean? What's worse?
Like seeing
from a girl?
Yeah, like seeing the matching PJs or seeing the family pictures. Because the family pictures,
the family pictures is probably that's OD. But even the matching pajamas, though, it's kind of like. It depends. Like if it's somebody I don't even pay attention to their page, I don't care. But if it's somebody like we be like engaging on each other's stuff, and I hit down. You came with the matching PJs, you could cancel Christmas on that one, buddy. Yeah, but I always wonder. I'd be like, dang, how do people feel like people kind of skip the jumps with your kids? Because I just be like, I seen this one girl. Like I'm like, bro, your kids is wow. She got some ugly ass kids. I ain't gonna hold you. But I just don't. I'd never be knowing what people be thinking. Like when you post your kids, what do you be wanting the response of people to be? Because that's why I'm like, I respect people who don't post their kids at all. Like I get it, I understand it, because I just don't. My brain never just be like skip, next page. I don't really want to see it. But during the holidays, I guess you get so caught up in it because it's just a family thing. I get when people want to show it. I do want to play this little clip I seen of New York. Bro, New York be on some different type of timing when it comes to the scams. It was these kids running one of these little basketball plays. I ain't gonna hold you. They was. I swear I thought I seen it on tches. They was smoking the people with this little scam that they was running. Wait, join that.
On an actual game?
No, it was. Oh, it wasn't. Nope, it was the Jasmine brand. I want to say that's what it was, and I thought I made it to you yesterday. Yep, it was the Jasmine brand. There we go.
At Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport here. This comes during one of, if not the busiest time for travel of the year. Fox 5's Eric Monk.
No. Damn, I'm tripping. I got, matter of fact, I wait until there was the wrong jump. I don't know why I thought I sent the jump to you already, but it was somebody, it was a clip. It was in New York City, and the people they was scamming them. They was doing a little panhandling thing. Hey, for our basketball team, whatever the case may be, can you donate, whatever the case may be? And they was like in one of the busy little shopping districts in New York, but people were putting their phone in their hand. Like, oh, let me look up my school so they would give them their phone while they looking up, and they got a legit junk that they sending the money to, but it's not a real school. It's not a real basketball team, but they got it like where it's set up, where it comes up, where you can search the name and you can send it to them and it come up, and they've been literally hitting people bank accounts to zero, dog. I was just like, ain't no way in hell you get me like that, dog. I'm not giving nobody my phone, one, and then two, I'm not donating to none of them, little niggas. That's crazy. What was it? It must have been the Jasmine brand. I thought that's what I seen it on. But who else we needed to talk about real quick? This nigga Charleston White funny. Let me just play this clip.
I don't want to go on a date with Cardi B no more. I don't like Cardi B no more.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, I don't like Cardi B no more. Her and her husband broke up, and she in the club hollering, fuck her baby daddy.
Fuck my baby daddy. You heard her? Really? Now that was wrong.
Well, first thing I want to know is not her baby daddy. That's her husband. That bitch stupid. Now, why would a woman get hurt and the man do wrong? Why would the woman go be wrong? Why would the woman go not? Why would she not? No, she was dignified when they were together. Why she can't be dignified now? She had the same grace. Keep maintaining that same spirit of I'm somebody. Why you want to go back and be a ratchet, raggedy bitch in the hole with your ass out? Why a woman want to do what a man do?
A woman can't.
No. He didn't have no hoe. He had a rotten bitch. Cardi B ain't no hoe. Because if she was a hoe know to go in seclusion when she hurt and in pain. Bitches run out to the club when they hurt. Hoes don't. Hoes and women don't. They try to find healing because they know they can't make proper decisions. Hurt. They know they gonna be getting drunk. They may be.
Shout out to Charleston White. He tripping real quick. I guess my last little holiday topic that I wanted to talk about. One thing I'm happy about is when you're not dealing with people at all, you don't have to worry about all the miscellaneous happy holiday, Merry Christmas situations. I even seen some girls post, oh yeah, don't send me a Merry Christmas if you don't send a cash app. I'm saying, say less, sis. You ain't got to worry about getting one from me, Jack. It ain't gonna happen, big dog. Holler at yourself. You won't get a text from me until after the new year with that type of energy. I'm not even gonna hold you. So but I'm happy about that. When your phone don't, because of course it's been years where you dealing with multiple women, holidays coming and you gotta hold multiple conversations throughout the holiday. When your phone is absolutely dry, holiday season come, you be like, thank you, Jesus Christ. I've missed another year. I'll be happy. I'm cheap, dog. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell y'all. I'll be happy as hell. Save them texts, save all them conversations. You ain't got to stress out to buy no gifts. And I'm not even going to lie to y'all. One of the things that I had for me, I was trying to be cheap when it was coming with Christmas shop. I'm like, all right, wait till the last minute to do Christmas shop. And I was just going to do sweatsuits. Bro, everything was just all over the place in Target. I said, I'm cool. I'd just rather go buy the $200 pair of sneakers for mom and dad. I was just like, I'd rather go get them some. I was just going to give them some sweatsuits. But then you couldn't find the matching to nothing. You see the top, can't find the bottom. You find the bottom, can't find the top. I said, yeah, cool. Don't even worry about it, sweetheart. I'd rather spend that extra money on some tennis shoes and call it a day because I couldn't. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Any y'all last minute shoppers, and yeah, I take my hat off to y'all. I ain't gonna say. I'm not even gonna say and tell y'all no goddamn lies. Man, it's like I said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm not gonna drag these conversations out too much longer. It ain't too much else even going on in the world. Over the last jump, Spirit Airlines had a 6-year-old boy. I don't necessarily know how or why this little boy was flying by himself.
A lot of people do that,
which is insane, especially if you're sending them through Spirit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're allowing your kid to fly on Spirit by themselves at 6 years old is ridiculous. So the kid got put on the wrong flight. The kid was supposed to be going to Philadelphia. He's supposed to be going to Philadelphia. And he ended up going to Orlando.
That's not bad.
It is bad because he's 6 years old. This ain't
no, I'm
happened
saying
to a
not,
teenager.
nigga, it ain't like I'm something like he ain't across the whole, like
that's still that's even if you had to drive, nigga. That's still an 18-hour drive.
I said that's what I'm saying. That's not as bad as nigga if he was in L.A.
Nigga, this is a 6-year-old dog.
Hey, there's more flights going that way.
Yeah, hopefully God willing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It ain't like
flying your kid, flying your 6-year-old by themselves.
Where you going
to Spirit
is
ridiculous, dog. I'm not gonna hold you. Flying your kid by themselves for a 6-hour flight on Spirit is crazy. You can't make no other allegations for that. That was crazy. And then shout out to Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi said he's retiring from rap. I'm sure y'all have seen him perform. He keeps screaming that out. And two things he said during retirement: he wanted to do a collabo album with Nicki Minaj, and he said he wanted to start working on a girl's clothing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I honestly think that would be good for Nicki. Even it would be better for Nicki than it would even be for Uzi because they kind of don't miss. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm going back to when her and Meek was dating, when they had that song together, and it was her, Uzi, and Meek on there. They make good songs. The fat, and then they just joined off for a Lil Uzi project when Nicki was featured on there. So they kind of like right now for me, yeah, the Fashion Killer Joint. They kind of 3 for 3 for me right now. I mean they 3 for 3 for me. They haven't missed so far, so I wouldn't be mad if they did a joint album. And I think to me personally, even just, I say that even when we're going back to the conversation about the live mixtape thing, I think a lot of artists kind of have to take it in their own hands to get back to just dropping on a regular and then kind of finding smaller creators. Like you can't just rely on Joe Budden or the Breakfast Club. You kind of got to find smaller creators to kind of build up so you can kind of, they can be your outlet to, just like when we talking about the live mixtapes in the world styles, where people can be like, okay, this gonna be our person that guarantee go to the music or whatever the case may be to get people refreshed. But you just can't live on the numbers thing. You can't allow if you allow the numbers to dictate how much you're gonna drop, then everybody gonna still always be stagnant with how much music they putting out. But I think if everybody keep talking about how frustrated they are with not being able to drop enough, then just keep dropping and stop making it about the numbers. Yeah, so shout out to Uzi, but him dropping a girl clothing line, I think to me that kind of makes sense. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Hold on, before we roll. I don't know how I'm done. This is my last topic. Taraji P. Henson was on somewhere crying about her not getting paid enough. And my beef with that whole situation in that conversation is, dog, do it yourself then. So for people who don't know the backstory, Taraji was she was doing an interview and she started breaking down when they would start talking about how much money Black people get paid, but especially Black women as actresses, and saying that they don't get paid. I forgot what movie she did, but the pay difference, I think she got like 150,000. I think this dude got like 10 million, and I think it was in the same movie. So that pay gap was extremely different. But my only thing for Taraji and for anybody else, because I seen other people saying, oh, they was thanking her for sitting here sharing her story. But my thing would be, I don't like how people give a pass to, especially to women or actresses or actors, because this same story was the same conversation when he was talking about Terrence Howard, when he was talking about Hustle and Flow.
Both of them was in that.
Yeah, both of them was in that. But you can't sit here and realistically, and I seen Vlad tweet out something. He was just like, people complain when the TV shows or the movie are a success, but y'all don't give money back when the TV show or the movie ain't a success. Mm-hmm. You still take that same pay if it don't hit. So you betting on
how much was she getting paid on Empire?
It was something slight, but she was basically, she said she fired her whole team because they didn't capitalize on the Cookie character, like finding her a spinoff or getting something else to do. But my whole thing is, then do your own stuff. And that's why you got to respect somebody. Like, I remember that interview when Master P was on the Breakfast Club, and he was like, man, I don't be listening to none of these rappers. All of me talking about all these drugs they sold, but they be rushing looking for a record deal. Well, what happens to all the drug money you keep rapping about? Yeah. And that's why he always used to big up Young Dolph, because he was like, dog, out of all the rappers, Young Dolph stayed on. I can respect him because he practicing what he preached. He talking that money talk, but he's still independent. He's still putting up his own money to fund his own projects. And shout out to Money Man. We talked about with Money Man, and he the same way. But so it's just like, you can't sit here and keep preaching all this money, and don't want to put up your own money. Because Taraji, that's what you can do. You could dumb some of your stuff down and you could put your stuff on YouTube. You could do like Vlad do. Vlad got you can go on YouTube and you can subscribe to Vlad YouTube channel, and he got a jump. It's I don't know how he do it. You can pay a subscription, like I think like $5 a month, and you can get, you know how he be clipping them up, breaking it down. He got the full interviews months in advance, but with no breakdown, straight through. Classes, if you pay the $5 situation. So for somebody like Taraji or anybody else feeling like
mentorship type.
No, it's like a subscription. It's like a subscription base, but it's just through YouTube. So if you feel like that, just do your own stuff, or go on Tubi and put a project, pay for something. But you can't sit here and cry about somebody not paying you. I have never seen a Taraji P. Henson funded nothing. You don't got a TV show that you funded on your own. You don't have nothing that you funded on your own. So if you're not willing to build up your own stuff and build your own situation, like a 50 Cent, how can I respect what you crying about? Because if this was a rapper, we would not be this. You would go every media personality would drag it. If this was a rapper on or some interview crying about not getting paid, or he don't like the way his deal is, or whatever the case may be, people would sit here and tell you, you need to go put out your own project, put your own money behind yourself, fund your own project, you spend your own money. But you don't want to do that. You know why? Because you just want a job. It's so easy to complain about your job not paying you enough if you never want to sit here and take the risk of doing your own situation. And especially when you can. It's so many think about how many random, like, when we always talk about Detroit, all that stuff before it was Amazon Prime, before you could put stuff on Prime, they was all on YouTube. And they were building their name up to the point where when they got on Prime, people wasn't upset with having to pay for certain things. Like it was, what's the name of that girl? It's a huge John. One thing I think it's called Society. I think they up to like number 3 of it. The first one, but they all been on Amazon. I think at one point in time, I think they even put it on their own website or something. I think I seen a girl make a TikTok about it. I think their website crashed or something when they just released the 3rd one. But you can go on Amazon and you can purchase the movie, or you can rent it, or whatever the case may be. But my whole point is, and the reason why I know about it, because what's Meek Mill baby mother? She was promoting it. I think because she was in the first one, but I know she was promoting it. The very first one, she was promoting it a lot. So I can't remember if she was in it or not. But she was promoting the first one. But my whole thing of it is, these regular people, they not. But that's my point. I think some of these actresses and actors, they got so you so used to one system, you're not used to doing stuff on your own. You're not used to putting in your own work and building up your own situation by yourself. You keep just looking for a handout. That handout ain't never gonna be there for you, dog.
Okay.
Build. If you tired of getting paid underpaid, then let me guess what you can do. And you want to show people what your net worth really is or what your worth is to these movies. Build your own. Do your own. My challenge to Taraji or any actor to feel the way Taraji feel. Do your own movies. Tubi is there. Amazon Prime is there. But you don't want that. You just want to keep getting a check from Warner Brothers or Universal or Sony or whoever these people you get money from. You want to keep complaining about them underpaying you. Well, then start your own. And that's why you see so many basketball players supporting Ice Cube with the big three. Because you can't keep complaining about certain things if you're not gonna support your own. And again, that's why I said shout out to Jaylen Brown for him being the first NBA player to step across the line and be able to support Ice Cube. And J. Cole even throwing Ice Cube in there as a ball. Like, dog, we gotta support our own, but you gotta jump out there to give people something to support. You can't just be sitting here getting on these Jones and crying and people throwing you a pity party. Like, bro, say them pity parties and whatever you feel like you worth, invest your own money. That's it. Because guess what these podcasters gotta do? People gotta sit here and invest your own money to sit here and record your own stuff. And if you got bread to really pay people to edit it or do whatever, they gotta do it on their own until you get somewhere. And then you still ain't really looking for a check. So I mean, it is what it is. I ain't got no sympathy for Taraji. I ain't got no sympathy for Terrence Howard. Y'all keep them crocodile tears for somebody else. And like I said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm not like the rest of these dudes. I don't need to take no breaks. I'm here. I'm gonna show up for y'all each and every time. So like I said, we'll holler at y'all next week.
Bocho Podcast, like, share, and subscribe. Let's go!
Oh, matter of fact, while we on our way out, let me just close out the YouTube jump. And I do, because I keep